Females have an advantage in content creation, no matter where you look at it. This is the first time, the first ever Churro talk, and frankly, Twitter being Twitter pretty much overran this topic to the mud. It's now all biased, and everyone is just so close-minded. I reckon I have a few close-minded thoughts of my own, huh? The VTuber drama is... that's it. It's unnecessary drama, that's all it is. And I reckon this whole thing is it could have just been passed off as another engagement bait. However, it sparked heated drama, and I mean heated. Everyone got pissed. Everyone started fighting each other pretty much to the death, or at least the internet equivalent of to the death. People downplaying, people trying to, I don't know, the elitism of content creation. Okay, before we start to get to the meat and potatoes, I should really be Charlie. What if I just go for a Charlie background? But anyway, disclaimers first. I do believe that no matter who you are, content creation is tough, especially if you're starting out. You just need to get yourself out there, and it's really, really hard to do. To some, it might even be impossible. And again, I'm just a guy. I am not a designer. Now that that's out of the way, let's get started with my most controversial opinion. I believe that this is my hardest hitting point, and it's my first ever opinion in the whole debate. Okay? Are you guys ready for this? Let me just hold your hand as I tell you this slowly. Females have an advantage in content creation, no matter where you look at it. It's the old saying, sex sells. Now, you might argue that, oh, if sex sells, that means you could just as easily gooner bait the female as a guy, and you'd be right. 100%, you are right. However, take this with a grain of salt, okay? I didn't do game theory levels of research here. This is pretty much barely scratching the surface of the proof I have. But I feel like this should convey the message that I'm already trying to convey. So don't shoot me, because I'm not coming for your life anyway. Let's begin. This is a site that proves to you all of the people using YouTube all over the world. We have a 54.3% male users on YouTube and 45.7% worldwide. This is already very outright one of the biggest proofs I have that content creation is easier with females. But you might be wondering, you might be arguing that most of the viewers, most of the streamers anyway, are on Twitch. That's fair. That's fair. But if you look at Twitch, 65% of Twitch users are male, 35% are female. I did the bare bones research. This is 2025 at least. At least I made sure of that. And if you care about the statistics in the United States, 63 of them are male, 37% are female. Oh, they're just numbers, right? It doesn't really mean anything. Well, let me tell you this. As a content creator, you would want your viewers to click on your channel, right? That's obvious. That's obvious. And let's say, as a new viewer here, for the average viewer, if you have the chance to click on a smaller channel as a male viewer, most likely, you're gonna be clicking on smaller female channels than male. When it comes to content creation, your first goal as a content creator is to get a click. After you get the click, that's the time you convince them to stay. That's the whole point. You get them to click, and now you get them to stay. You can't convince them to stay if you can't get them to click. That's all I'm saying. Let's not argue here. People want to stay for someone they want to vibe with. That's a given. That's fine. That's pretty much obvious, right? But I would argue as a male viewer, again, the majority of Twitch and YouTube users, as a male viewer, you are most likely to click on female streamers until you stumble on a guy streamer. So as a guy streamer, what are your chances on visibility? Because as a male viewer, you're most likely to click on female. Oh, they're all boobs, zero personality. You know, shallow levels of personality. Okay, you're sick of that. Finally click on the male viewer. Oh dear, it's another shallow personality edgelord. Okay, time to move on to a bigger streamer. But like, you see what I'm getting at? some people, the more people don't click on your channel, that's less are the chances that you are trying to get a permanent viewer, a regular. Because if a viewer doesn't click on your video, they are getting filtered. So let's say you have 10,000 people looking for small streamers. All of them click on this one new streamer, brand new streamer, female. And let's say 50 of those viewers stay. But out of those 10,000, you now only have 9,950. Now, out of those 9,950 viewers, they click on another streamer, another female streamer. Let's say those streamer had a little bit more personality. So 400 viewers got filtered. Now you have 9,550. So on and so forth until they finally reach your content as a male streamer. And let's say after the entire filter, you're left with 100 people, which again is a lot of people. I have to admit that is a lot of people. But if you don't have the personality, you're already at a big disadvantage compared to the other female streamers that they clicked on first. So I ask again, what are the chances of visibility then? And notice how I still haven't said the word VTubers. This is a big issue outside of 2D, 3D models or flesh tubing. I want to bring a point to talk about design uniqueness. VTubers, especially female-looking, feminine-looking models, have big freedom to design their hair, body proportion, and stylized hair. I would argue that it's more fitting to see a female wearing a suit and tie than it is for a guy to wear a prom dress unironically without looking feminine. There's a genuine request. Give me a piece of media where a guy has stylized long hair that is not straight and also not being mistaken as a girl. Because for women, you can have short hair, you can have long hair, you can have twin tails, drills, twin buns. Your hair can be straight, you could have locks in it. There's a large variety. But for masculine designs, we don't have as much variety. We can still have your usual locks, your Dragon Ball spiky hair, your man buns. There's your usual slick back. I made a list. There's your slick back, messy, bald, semi-bald. I don't want to be a purely bald VTuber. I'm just saying that right now. And there is straight long hair. Unless you want the Gotenks hair, all power to you, my guy. All power to you. There's not a lot of hair designs for guys. We're not even talking about ahoges yet. If you look at female ahoge, anime ahoge female, if you look at this, we have your usual, your very standard ahoge. You also have the thin lines, you know, the very thin strand of hair, the very thick strand of hair. You can have it shaped like a heart. You could have it, look at this. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Look at Mume. It has twin tails plus the thin ahoge, right? There are a wide variety of like hair strand poking out of your hairstyle. And this is barely scratching the surface on creativity with hair. For guy ahoges, what do we have? These are all female examples too. What we usually have are just one strand of floof. If you make it too thin, it's gonna look a little bit more feminine. So we usually have this one strand, a little thick, very floof. Sometimes it's very floofy, sometimes it's slightly sharper looking. But my point still stands. Just with an ahoge, there you go. There's already a big difference in uniqueness you can have. But then there's another thing that people are talking about when it comes to design. Something that can't really be denied. One of the biggest complaints about most people on male VTuber clothing designs is that they're all techwear. It's all edgy black techwear. And obviously, I am at the same trap. I am another edgelord techwear with deep voice. I can't do anything about the deep voice, but I can't really just go up and change my model design, my rigging, and everything else in between, because that's gonna cost me an extra $2,000. So the main complaint about some content creators is that most of them just use the same techwear. And honestly, fair. A lot of the male VTubers that I see, myself included, I am not excluding myself from this, is just all like fancy futuristic stuff. That seems to be the current theme. While female VTubers have all sorts of outfit variety. Now, I'm not saying that we are limited. Quite the opposite, actually. It's just that all of the guys in the VTubing space share the same brain cell. And it's that we have techwear. I, for one, was not part of the memo. I only did this because of my favorite movie of all time. It's actually just this. It's mostly this part. The thing here, that's the Y shape of my clothing. My design is based off of Tron Legacy, the movie. The idea of technomancy has always been really big to me, and I want to incorporate that in my model. So I fall in the same trap. But okay, again, I've been talking for like 30 straight minutes about the 25 straight minutes about the drama. So let me hold your hand. You want to know the TLDR of this? This is the TLDR of the VTuber drama is just that the people who are complaining are just jealous of the people who are successful. The male VTubers are jealous on the successful female VTubers. And the female VTubers are angry because their efforts aren't recognized. That's the TLDR. The female VTubers are trying so hard, or at least the successful ones are. They're trying so hard to be as unique as possibly can. They pump out as much content, shorts, videos, etc. to become successful, to get to where they are. While the male VTubers are just angry because they've been streaming for so long with little to no improvement, and just get pissed. That's the whole drama. And if you think I'm assuming, then yes, I am kind of assuming, but also I'm not. This all just goes into the psychology, you know, the inner workings of the human mind. People are so focused on everything around them, they don't focus on themselves. All they see is them doing the best they can without getting anything in return, while they see others doing as little or thinking that they're doing as little as they can possibly do and gain so much. They don't see the back end of things. They don't see the personality. They don't see the videos, the shorts, everything to get their name out. They only see the streams. So that's on the female side of things. So what about the male side? So admittedly, I fell into this trap back then, okay? I saw high-pitched voice, big titty VTuber girl get a ton of views. But then you know what? People are starting to become smarter. And I know that's a little bit of a stretch. I think out of all of the things, this is the most unbelievable point that I've made so far. But people are becoming smarter. The big titty waifu high-pitched voice character doesn't really work anymore. If not, it doesn't work as well. People are trying to see through the surface. People are just trying to see that there's zero personality behind the cute voice, behind the big tits. And remember, I said people are getting smarter, not people are getting smart. There are still a lot of times where that old trope still works. It just doesn't happen as often anymore. So now that our commentary is out of the way, of course, we can't just rely on streaming. Please listen to this, or at least not even just the guys. Every new content creator, please listen to this. Gone are the days where you could just sit back and play. The Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie era is dead. It's long gone. You can't just video your pet in like a 144p camera and hope to get as many clicks. You actually have to be entertaining now. Everyone now has access to games. It's no longer a premium commodity. Computers are getting cheaper. Games can be pirated. People won't just watch you because you're playing a game they don't have access to. You have to figure out something that would make you stand out. But okay, I've talked about the outside drama. I've talked about the male and female points. How about me? This is my channel. Where do I fall under all of this? Reference sheet. That's how my model looks like, full body. After all of the points that I've made on the male VTuber end and all of the critics that I've said so far, does that mean it's over for me? And honestly, genuinely, yes, it is over for me. Model-wise, yeah, it's over. As I mentioned before, I kinda don't want to spend $2,000 just on a model update, just to stand out of the crowd, right? I don't want to get carried by my design, because it's the same thing with Spider-Man, right? You know, when Iron Man wanted the suit back from Peter Parker, and then Peter Parker was said, I am nothing without the suit. So then Iron Man retorted, if you are nothing without the suit, you don't deserve the suit. That's what I feel about being carried by design. I know how important it is to get people to click. I know that's the first thing I mentioned, but there are other ways where I'm improving at. Getting clicks might be the most important thing as a content creator, but there are other things that I'm improving at. But first, let me just talk about my design for a second. The design is a design that I'm proud of. It is something that I would like to say to the world that this is me. This perfectly encapsulates me as a person. As previously mentioned, this is based on my favorite movie, the Tron Legacy. Wow! However, because of this, my model looks like edgelord protagonist number 3821. And that's an issue. That is an issue. Yes. Style-wise, I'm not really a big over-the-top person in style, as you can see. I like the simple things in life. I like the simplistic designs, as you can see from all of my setup here. Even this talking point, if you guys haven't noticed, this is literally just a clear wall. I have a gaming chair behind me, a clear wall on a blackboard. And the blackboard is where I put my talking points. So, it's over for me, design-wise. Because I am not updating my model. That is a hill I'm going to die on. Also, like, yeah, exactly what you said, Marius. You gotta trust the viewer. The best thing I can do right now is to try to get myself into the market. Now, what does that mean? Shorts, videos, more streams, while improving the quality of each one every time something new shows up. The best thing I can do is, as I've been saying, scream into the void and hopefully the void responds. So, let's address the elephant in the room. If I can't improve on my model, if I can't improve on my design, then I need to improve on my content. Let's not beat around the bush. My commentary is not the best. As Carl mentioned while we were talking outside of stream, most of my streams are just Zatsudans, which means it's just a just talking stream with like gaming in the background, which I'm perfectly fine with, but most of the time I'm just a bumbling idiot, stumbling in my words. But yeah, my content needs a lot of improvement. My commentary is not the best. I am unable to carefully and properly speak my thoughts. You can tell because I stutter a lot. The only reason why I haven't stuttered is because I have everything written down right now. And I can't really have that if all of my talking points are kind of made on the spot if I'm not doing a chalk stream, right? I just talk about something on the spot. Something that just popped into my mind out of nowhere. So right now, I'm tackling this the same way I tackle most of my problems. Regroup and assess. That means every stream I do, including this one, by the way, I listen to it at work and see where I can improve on. Whether it be commentary, whether it be how I explain my thought process, or just overall where to improve on. Usually what I do is I take notes and I suggest everyone to do this, big or small. You know, because always making better content is not bad. So I just take note on what I need to improve on and apply it in the next stream. I'm trying to pump out as much content as I possibly can with my limited time, and I suggest you do the same. Because a bunch of my content is already being in the process of being edited. I am now in contact with an editor because I don't have time to edit for myself. I'm trying to get my most interesting streams edited into shorts and videos. I guess this is kind of a spoiler on what's to come. But you could see that now I'm trying to do 4 streams a week instead of 3. I'm trying to finish the Minecraft but no 6 or 7 streams so that I could turn it into a video series. And those video series, I could turn it into shorts to get my name out there. I suggest all of you do the same thing. You want to know how to get clicks? You gotta stop just streaming, man. You can't do that anymore. You have so many tools at your disposal. You gotta use it. Editing softwares are free if you can't afford an editor. You gotta learn how to edit. I was editing some of my videos back then. It wasn't good, but at least I had something. I feel like that's the best way to end the male and female VTuber debate. I'm pretty sure I made some controversial opinions. I can't wait to turn this into a video because I feel like this could be a video. So, thank you for staying with me till the end.